All right, let's talk about something that's on everyone's mind: large language models. We're going to walk through a guide that really breaks it all down, making sense of one of the biggest things happening in tech right now. So let's be honest for a second. Do you ever feel like the whole AI world is just moving at a million miles an hour? I mean, one day you've finally figured out ChatGPT, and the next, bam, there are like 10 new models you're supposed to know about. It's totally normal to feel like you're just trying to keep up, like you're chasing a speeding train. But here's the thing. This isn't just another flashy tech trend. The guide we're diving into frames this as something way, way bigger. It's a technology that is literally redefining human-computer interaction. Just let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about a massive, fundamental shift here. And because this change is so huge, that brings us to our first big point: staying ahead of AI. The takeaway here is pretty simple but super important. Understanding LLMs isn't just for the tech geniuses and data scientists anymore. Nope, this is becoming essential knowledge for everyone, no matter what job you're in. So what I think is really cool about this guide is who it's for. It does this amazing job of bridging a pretty big gap. On one hand, you've got your expert data scientists, right? The folks who really live and breathe this stuff and want to stay ahead. But on the other hand, you've got business leaders, stakeholders, people who need to get the basics down so they can make smart, strategic calls. This thing, it's really built for both sides of the coin.
Okay, so to make sure we're all on the same page, the guide does exactly what it should. It starts with the absolute fundamentals. We're going to get right down to the core of what these language models actually are.
Yeah, I mean, before you can jump into all the cool stuff you can do with this tech, you've got to get the main idea down first, right? And this guide is really good about laying out those fundamentals nice and clearly so nobody feels left in the dust. So what is it? At its core, a language model is a special kind of AI. Think of it like a super smart brain that's been trained specifically on one thing: human language. Its whole job is to understand it, create it, and work with it. This is the engine. It's what's powering all those tools you've been hearing about, like ChatGPT, Dolly, and GPT-4. But here's a really cool part. These incredible tools, they didn't just pop up overnight, not even close. To really get a feel for how we got here, the guide takes us on a little trip back in time. And trust me, this story starts way earlier than you'd probably guess. And wow, this timeline really shows you what a long journey it's been. I mean, the basic ideas go all the way back to the 1950s. Can you believe it? But the real game changer, the moment everything shifted, was in the late 2010s with something called transformer architecture. So what's the big deal with that? Well, it was a totally new way for the AI to understand context. It let the models figure out which words in a sentence were the most important. And that innovation is what unleashed the crazy powerful models we see today. All right, so we've got the what and the how we got here. That's great. But now we get to the question I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. So what, right? How does this actually help my business? And this is where the guide pivots from theory to some really practical real-world stuff. And let's face it, this is the question everyone is asking. Every business leader, every team. It's one thing for a technology to be cool and impressive. It's another for it to actually be useful. So how do you take all this amazing potential and turn it into real, tangible results that actually help your bottom line? This is where the guide really delivers. It gets super specific with benefits you can actually see. So think about it. What if you could improve your customer service with chatbots that aren't just reading from a script, but can actually understand and solve real problems? Or how about automating those really tedious, complex tasks, like sifting through thousands of reviews and getting a perfect summary in just seconds? You can even use this to dream up new creative ideas for marketing. Or, get this, help your own developers build apps faster. It's all about working smarter, not just harder. Okay, but knowing all the cool things you could do is just step one, right? Actually making it happen? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. And that's what this last part of the guide is all about. It's the how-to. How to set your team up for success, and just as importantly, how to dodge those common mistakes that can end up being really costly. And here it is, a clear roadmap to get you started. Now, things like defining your goals and picking the right model, yeah, that's all super important. But I want you to really zoom in on step 2, because the guide makes a huge deal about this: getting your data foundation right. Here's a great way to think about it. An LLM is like a genius student, ready to learn anything. But it can only learn from the textbooks you give it. If your data, your textbooks, is messy or incomplete, even the smartest AI on the planet is going to stumble. So when you step back and look at the whole thing, what this guide gives you is this perfect balance. It's a really thorough overview, but it's also concise. It's not going to waste your time. It's built to give you exactly what you need to be in the loop, to be part of the conversation, and to make smart decisions, all without drowning you in that super technical jargon that just makes your eyes glaze over. We've all been there. And really, at the end of the day, it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. The point here isn't to use AI just because it's the new shiny thing. The real goal is to use it to deliver actual, measurable value. And that, right there, is the core promise of this guide. So, all of this leaves us with one big, forward-looking question. The tech is here. The potential is massive, and it's crystal clear. The world is literally changing right in front of us. So the only real question left is, are you ready to tap into all that potential?